What if I told you that the most powerful werewolf in Moonwood Mill isn't the scariest or the loudest? And no, it's not Greg. It's actually this guy, Kristopher Volkov, the dad, the diplomat, the leader of the most gentle werewolf pack, and he has an amazing reputation too. This is what I find most fascinating about Kristopher, is that he's very gentle. He's like Mother Teresa, if Mother Teresa could throw you across the woods with one arm. But Kristopher's story runs deeper than most people realize. Everything I'll say in this video is factual from the game, based on character interactions, in-game items, things you can find, things you can read, books, furniture, all that kind of good stuff. And of course, I will be showing you the receipts today as well. So sit tight, grab a snack, grab a drink, and enjoy as I tell you the secrets of Kristopher Volkov. Kristopher actually has amazing self-control and amazing control over his werewolf fury. So much so that he can regain his humanity with ease and help pacify other werewolves to do the same. Usually, a werewolf in fury mode has trouble regaining their control, but not Kristopher. A normal werewolf will scratch furniture, destroy things, run around, howl, and even intimidate other sim. What I do when my werewolf goes nuts is I take them outside and I spend my time digging through the ground, finding goodies, finding more fun lore to read about, have them roam around the town, just get them outside so they don't destroy your home or intimidate their roommates. And Chris, he's not just an alpha of his pack, no, he is the reason why the pack still exists as it is today. Actually, it was his mother, Maria Volkov, who first established the pack values: participation, self-sufficiency, and diplomacy. Maria was fierce, but fair when she needed to be. And just like Kristopher, she had a lot of self-control over her transformation. So much control that it seemed easy for her. It is said that she never found it difficult. She believed that werewolves have a responsibility to have self-discipline and to overcome their natural instincts. His mother Maria even wrote a book called A History of Moonwood Mill. That book actually touches on not just the history of werewolves, but the history of vampires as well and how they connect together. I will be making a separate video going in depth about the history of werewolves and vampires because there is a lot of juicy lore to be found there. But today we're focusing on our dear Kristopher. And Kristopher adored his mother. Actually, there's a character in the game named Greg who is also a werewolf who lived during the time of Maria, and he says that Kristopher looks so much like Maria that he can't even look at him without remembering those days. And it is very likely that there is a photograph of Maria, or at least the resemblance of her, in Kristopher's house with flowers and a table, something like a shrine. I mean, he adored his mother. He really loved his mother, so it definitely could be her. And who is his dad? Well, we know that there is a man named John who was with Maria at the time, so that's probably his father, but we don't know for sure. And actually, even though Kristopher was born a werewolf, his parents were not werewolves. They were spellcasters, from all things. These spellcasters were actually called Mooncasters because they used the power of the moon to gain their energy and to do different rituals, and turned themselves into werewolves as a response to the vampire epidemic. They were actually using themselves as a weapon against vampires at the time. And even today, Kristopher wonders what it would be like to be a spellcaster. But for now, Kristopher honors his mother's vision to create a safe place for werewolves who are beginning their life or who need help with self-control. Because being a new werewolf is actually very confusing and hard. Your mood gets controlled by the moon. You don't even remember what you were doing when you're in that state. You're destroying things, you're pushing people away. I mean, it's chaos, and especially for a beginner werewolf, it's very mentally difficult. Kristopher is the safe haven for many werewolves. He took in Lily when she was just turned, when she was probably a teenager. He took in young Rory and young Jacob and actually adopted them as his own children. And he isn't just raising a pack, no, he's raising the future leaders of the two packs that exist in The Sims 4. There's the Wildfangs and the Moonwood Mill Collective. Jacob, his son, is meant to be the leader of the pack that he's currently part of, the Moonwood Mill Collective, whereas Rory broke out of the family and started her own pack. Because there is a downside to being in Kristopher's pack, and this downside is what made his own daughter leave. Because the Moonwood Mill Collective actually has many rules, and one of them is self-discipline and to suppress your natural instincts as a werewolf. And this is something Rory believes that she's entitled to experience and discover. Rory tried to conform, but she couldn't handle it at all. And now Kristopher and Rory have a slightly negative relationship together, but you can see that he still loves her very much. He actually wears a necklace with the Wildfangs logo, and the Wildfangs logo is red, but his necklace is teal turquoise color, just like Rory's hair. He even keeps her bedroom in the same state she left it in, with all the scratches and all the furniture. Maybe he's hoping that one day she will come back, but you can definitely see that there's a lot of sadness about this breakout. And maybe even part of him understands why Rory left, and he understands that she needed that freedom. Kristopher is a perfectionist. He is also a genius and family-oriented. He is actually so family-oriented that he even chose a job that will allow him to stay at home. He is a programmer, but he's not very high level, so it really goes to show that he doesn't put a lot of emphasis on his work life. And what's funny is that there's not even a computer in his house, so he probably works from the library. The Moonwood Mill Collective is all about self-sufficiency, so they probably eat a lot off the land. They are farmers, and they probably make some money farming as well. They don't have much money, but it doesn't matter to him because he is a true family man. He is all about community, and his aspiration is family lineage. But he is also tired because he is immortal, and immortality comes with a certain cost, like draining yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually. He lived through wars, betrayals, heartbreak. He's seen communities rise and fall, and he has the scars to show that he's been through a lot. Across his chest, across his back, on his face. And he is powerful. Yes, he can rival against almost any werewolf. He can take down Greg no problemo. But he's also gentle, the kind of man who will bring you a cup of tea and a blanket, and will teach you how to control your fury, not just unleash it. But Kristopher knows he's not going to lead forever, and he is waiting for his son Jacob to come of age to take his place. He is really hoping that Jacob will take the lead and continue his mother's dream. And Kristopher will probably do what his mother did, which is to let go of his immortality once the new alpha is in place. There is a book in the game that tells a story about how alphas often look for their fated mate to end the rest of their life with, and that's probably what Kristopher is hoping to do himself, because he's never found his fated mate. And your fated mate in The Sims could be any two werewolves. If you don't play his household and you're playing somebody else, it is very likely that he will just keep adopting new children on the side and just building his community. Every time I play somebody else and come back to him, he has at least 2 new kids. But deep down, Kristopher knows that one day he will have to let it go. And what is going to happen to the pack once he does? Is there going to be a safe haven for the werewolf community to go to when they need help? And here's my opinion about Kristopher. I feel like there is a quiet fear in his wise eyes. Like, what if Jacob doesn't want to lead? What if Rory just becomes more and more unhinged? What if the peace that his mother worked so hard to cultivate is lost after he leaves? But he also has a dream of maybe seeing what it's like to be a spellcaster, so who's to say what he's going to do next? I just want to say that this channel is something that I'm working on very hard, and I hope that you enjoy these videos. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time for more juicy lore.